Welcome, everyone, and thanks for joining us on the HEBED AI Podcast. So on this show, we will try to move past surface level conversations about AI and talk honestly about what it takes to build technology that people actually use. So products that combine ambition with real world constraints. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Darya Motornova, CEO of Itealist, a UK-based company focused on building immersive mobile applications across iOS and Android. Itealist works at the intersection of user experience and emerging technologies, including AI, VR, and facial recognition, which makes their work a great fit for the kind of conversation we like to have here. We'll be talking about how these technologies come together in real products, where innovation generally improves user experience, and what it's like to build ambitious tech without losing sight of usability and reliability. So, Darya, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Edward. It's such a pleasure. I'm delighted. Thank you.
Great. So to get us started, could you briefly introduce yourself and also tell us what you build at Itealist?
Of course. My name is Darya. I'm based in UK, in London, and I'm a CEO and founder of software development firm Itealist. We grew to have the whole AI division with amazing, talented, top-tier AI engineers, and we build for businesses, focusing on app development, healthcare, back-end solutions. Think about it as two main directions that we use AI for. I know that this podcast is all about AI, so this is what we're going to discuss apart from just the standard app development. So in AI, we focus on two things. We build very specific biotech, healthcare, niche applications to use power of AI for scientific discoveries, for understanding very vast scientific deep questions and analyze them better. And we also build AI assistant for customer services, right? And it can be in the shape and form of what we know as ChatGPT, but for a specific business, or it can go much, much deeper into a proper agentic AI when AI acts as the best employee for any company. Yeah, so this is our two main focuses. I'll talk about it in details a little bit later when you ask me about that.
Sure. Well, it sounds very diverse and there's a lot to learn in your activities. So let's go into it. We're very excited to have you here. I would start with a problem-oriented questions. So by problem, I mean, what specific problem made this company necessary today and not just interesting?
Well, that's a great question, and it makes me think about the most important subject. Everybody talks about AI. You probably see AI on any deck of any startup that is currently fundraising, and it became a buzzword when in reality AI is a tool. It's like talking about AI is like talking about a will invention. Yeah, it's a great, helpful tool that's going to change the way we look at the world, the way we work. However, every application in your business, every tech that you bring on board should have a purpose, right? It should change the way business operates. It should change the way you get profits. It should change the way you serve your customers. So whenever businesses see AI as the tool, as a part of their product, and not the main goal, then it starts all falling into place. And we help customers achieve exactly that. Yeah, not only spend money to integrate AI for the sake of having it on the website or on the deck and be modern, yeah, and go in touch with trends. We help specific business cases to be solved, to make business more efficient, to make profit fly, and actually optimize all of the processes.
Could you give us some concrete example of a use case that you had with one customer without really going into the detail, but what type
Absolutely.
Of,
So, for example, we're building with a very well-known biotech company in UK. When we train AI assistant on the specific knowledge base, we're basically taking all of the scientist knowledge, education, years of experience, all of the literature they're going through, and we are teaching AI assistant to be even smarter than those people. Yeah, because unlike us, unlike me and you, AI is capable of reading tons of literature in the same moment. It can analyze a lot of conversations. It can find contradictions in those very easily. So we're teaching those assistant to pick up on all of the trends, on all of the governmental regulations, and then help this company apply for any IPs that they are facing. Yeah, basically making their work from like a year application into a week by using this powerful brain. And you can only imagine how much money is it saving.
Of course. So you're really tailored oriented. You really offer tailored services. So depending on customer needs, you have this ease, sorry, to really be flexible and to craft something AI driven and of course productive, right?
And remember that we build for businesses, so solutions that we build later on goes to the market to save end customers in the more of the shelf way. But my goal in this world is specifically build each application very customized to get the results that each company needs. However, I also am an active CTO and Chief Product Officer in a startup in UK where I build for end users directly.
Quite interesting. So which kind of industry do you have worked in?
That's a good question. So my current startup is called Trust Frame, and that's a company which goal is to vet and verify all of the before and after pictures for beauty and aesthetic industry. Imagine how many pictures you see of like creams, injections, weight loss drugs, when the claims are, oh my God, yeah, you take a pill and in a week time you are Cindy Crawford in her best years. So we actually verify those claims and make sure that end user, the customer, knows how to pick the best provider of creams, massages, any kind of injections, and with a big focus on weight loss medication as well.
Wow. And how do you manage the challenge for each industry?
The big challenge is probably always in our head. It's always to align with the goals, to focus on what matters, to focus your team effort on what matters, to actually balance in between client goals and the team. Working like you imagine, I have 27 developers in my team. All of them are very talented people and personalities as well, who has different visions. So to find the balance between end product, between what's going to go to market and the kitchen on the back side of it, that's probably my main challenge and art at the same time.
Right. No, it's very interesting. But I still find amazing actually to be that flexible in terms of project management, which is huge. I mean, I think it should be some sort of a lot of stress to handle, and to think that you have an amazing team and also the management, the executive level also fit with everything is very important. And congratulations regarding this.
Thank you, Edward. I probably want to give an advice here to anyone who is starting the business and who is at the moment fundraising or thinking of building an app. You can look at that as a stress resource, or you can look at this as excitement part. Yes. And whenever you treat everything as an experiment, let me try this. Let me negotiate with this person and see what's going to come from that. Let me try to explain to my developer how to do that and see what he comes back with. It starts being much more exciting and much less stressful. Yeah, if you think about everything as like you are married to the process, you want it to be your way, then it's going to be a source of stress.
I agree. I want to focus on the maintenance parts. So when a service or product, or the client's product is deployed on production, obviously you need to have some resources for the maintenance parts. And when it comes to AI, it's always about training and optimization in the end, right? So how do you internally handle this maintenance scope when you also have these other side projects that you also need to manage?
Don't forget that I have a very big team of product managers and developers, so it's not that I'm doing all of that myself. We always have a product lead on each client that is working with us, and a person who developed and deployed it at the end is staying with the client, and usually on a monthly, like any application or any AI assistant is a living, breathing organism, right? You always need to update it to make sure that it's relevant. In the modern day, it becomes more and more of an actual topic, because if 5 years ago the app needed update like every 3 months, now it's a daily process, and if you are not updating it constantly, if you're not training it according to the new knowledge, you're going to be behind, right? So we always stay with the client, and the person who supervises the project always stays and usually support it for years to come.
I see. Nice, interesting. I want to also cycle back to the regulation and compliance. I mean, all the governance level that you mentioned before. So to you, has AI risk, regulation, or compliance ever forced you to, change a specific product to a service or a business decision regarding this regulation,
The answer is yes, and it doesn't go only to regulations, it's also go to like a moral view on the subject. Don't forget, we built a lot of healthcare and medical devices as well. So for us, it's extremely important that AI acts extremely responsibly, right? So we put a lot of guardrails on every medical application or AI assistant, because, like, for example, I'm building at the moment for a startup that is helping young teenager girls understand their biology, right, and understand their hormones and stuff. Can you imagine how much harm this app can do if it's not properly trained on only medically graded information? So I take a lot of pride into being very responsible with that. And there are a couple of industries, like we don't work with finance at all, but finance is one of them. Medical and healthcare is another industry where it's very important to be responsible, and it's on every founder who is starting in this industry to ask themselves a question. Why am I doing it? Am I making any harm by implementing those technology? Unfortunately, I saw quite a lot of startups where they rely on a very superficial, out-of-the-box technology for very, very sensitive subjects, and I'm much against that. Even before regulations, the moral question is very important. So in healthcare, yes, 1,000,000%. So regulations do change it, and it should be so. It can't be just a free, wild west approach when everybody is like just making money out of it. It's a bad, poor behavior.
No, I'm totally aligned with you. Ethical and moral dimensions do matter, and it's really important to consider them when you need to take important business decisions. And in terms of trade-offs, I would say, so let's shift to performance, costs, and real reliability. When you have some trade-off, and when you try to build something, but you need to consider speeds, but also performance, reliability,
and budget.
costs. How do you measure everything? How do you prioritize everything?
So the thing about, and probably I can give a little bit of advice to anyone who is just getting started here. The right approach is not to hunt for everything and everywhere and in one go. Yes, every feature that any founder is building should be tested before you start investing money into this. And by tested, I mean founder must talk to real users and must check, first of all, whether they need this function at all or not, and secondly, whether they're happy to pay for it or not. Because it's one thing for people to say, oh yeah, that will be amazing to have this and that functionality. And another thing, when you actually tested your audience, you start charging them for that, and you see that they are happily voting with the dollars to go, then people should go and develop that. So the smart approach here is to develop feature by feature and to focus on doing the first thing really well and then moving to another one or adding another one. So being super fast is not necessarily very good. Yes, and I fully vote for a very reasonable approach. With AI, speed is quite important here. When you talk to like AI assistant which has like a high latency, it's going to kill your product, right? So building less but better is much smarter in general.
I agree.
regarding the agile, I would say methodology to be lean, I think is the way to do it. And regarding the investors, are you looking for fundraising or?
We are fundraising now with Trust Frame. We just started the conversation, talked to a couple of angels. We want to find a proper angel investor with a focus on beauty and aesthetic industry. Ideally, we're going to go global very soon. So it's going to be Europe, Middle East, and USA. So at the moment, yes, looking for the right investor for our startup.
And it's, it's worldwide, like you look at investor network worldwide, or you have a specific region focus? How is the strategy?
We are now going because I have two co-founders, and all of us, like all three of us, has a lot of connections in the field. Myself from AI and software world, my other co-founder from marketing perspective, and a set partner of mine from beauty industry. So we're exploring who we have in the close network, but we do look global. I, for example, absolutely love working with the Middle East in general. It's such a progressive, amazing direction for us. So and also very big on beauty industry. So definitely exploring over there, talking to a couple of people in UK. So yeah, open to different geographies.
I agree. It's interesting.
And regarding the beauty industry, you target, I will say, globally, but each industry have their own, I will say, beauty criteria. So how you train your model to be, I will say,
this specific solution is focusing on a very specific problem, so it doesn't cover everything and anything. It helps any provider of the beauty or aesthetics to get pictures of real customers that visited the salon or use the lipstick or cream of how they looked before, how they looked after. Yeah, so it's super specific for like weight loss and body composition. We use filters not to show too much. So filters is not the right word here, because the whole goal of the application is not to go away from filters and to show real picture. So by that I mean not showing a face of a person to keep all of the integrity in place. But yeah, it's a small adjustments which are very easy to make. It's a good example of when you focus on a specific problem and you not try to deliver too much, it becomes all very doable. Yeah, like I understand when companies want to provide 5 different features for weight loss and for aesthetic and for cosmetics, then it becomes a problem. When you focus on a specific point where you are aiming, that will become very doable.
Nice. It's all about being simple in your
Correct.
speech.
Correct.
Definitely. And Darya, as a CEO of Itealist, when it comes to AI again, where should CEOs, absolutely not use this technology today?
That's a great question. I'm probably gonna create a lot of waves of comments under your podcast, but when I see now developers fully relying on AI coding for app development, in a very simple words, please don't do it. Yeah, by all means use AI, test it, implement it partially, but when when this buzz over like we will create everything based on AI goes into place, it's very often means that first of all it's not going to work nicely and not being connected properly, but also it very often leads to not understanding the product much, which is not ideal. So using AI, good idea. Building everything based on it, I'm not a big supporter of that. Yeah, look at AI-driven companies and how many developers do they hire, how much they are after like a strong, talented minds, how much they're able to pay for it. And ask your question if what is the strategy there? Yeah. And a second that I want to mention, there are a lot of applications when, for example, when you analyze data and something should be just rule-based, and people start experimenting with AI too much, and that goes to healthcare quite a lot, for example, but also construction. Yeah, AI is great for certain topics. Sometimes when you have solid structure in place, that's just not necessary. Yeah. So in data analytics, it's a great tool, but it should be implemented where it's actually needed, rather than replacing everything with a simple rule-based logic.
Interesting. Well, guys, if you want to argue regarding what she said, you know who you can talk to, right?
Please be my guest.
And no, it's very interesting what you just said. I want also to bounce back on the AI transformation itself regarding your personal journey as the company that you have today. Which specific role in your company become more valuable? I mean, has become more valuable with this digital transformation?
It's a great question. In general, obviously, AI is changing the role and the profession of developer, and of the product manager and of a data scientist. What we knew about it 10 years ago is not the same, and a year from now is going to be different. So you probably hear all the time that people who know how to write good prompt will be golden, very, very soon. So obviously, by all means, it's very important for any manager in my company to know how to use all of the modern tools, including AI, but not limited to that. But also the vision and the human etiquette, the connections that they're able to build between each other, the team building skills becomes more and more and more important, right? Because specific niche knowledge of the technology is not enough anymore, right? So it's all becoming in how visionary the person is, and it's becoming more and more important for the roles where it didn't matter previously.
I agree. Well, it's deep. It's deep. I mean, we can feel the experience from what you just said, which is very interesting. A good piece of advice. I agree. What moment has challenged you the most as a founder so far? A co-founder?
Business starting the business is gonna challenge you every day. It's gonna challenge you to trust people. It's gonna challenge you to trust yourself. It's gonna challenge you to know when to rest. It's gonna challenge you to trust your judgments. It's gonna challenge you to be humble, and to understand that absolutely everybody in your team and yourself gonna make mistakes, and that's just okay. You learn from that. It's gonna challenge you to ask if you are worthy of it, if you're good enough. So there's so many challenges. They come every day, and it's a great learning curve. And in my personal life, I don't know what else in my lifetime changed me as much as starting my own firm. I'm very grateful to that experience, absolutely loving it. And but challenges arise less as we wake up on a daily basis.
And really, the challenge, what is the one lesson that you have learned the hard way, I would say?
I think that's the main lessons that I've learned is to trust your team to do what they do best, not trying to control every move which is happening, and actually giving them a lot of space and power to choose the way they want to work, how they present certain solutions, how they talk to the client. And being just more relaxed about it and trusting the process, because building a big company, you can probably run a company of 3 people and be full in control, right? But when it starts growing to more than this, how trustworthy you are to your team and how much you trust them is probably going to define how your business gonna grow.
Deep. And I'm curious, what are your limitations regarding the vision of the company? How far are you willing to go to make your company really successful and thriving? Do you have any limitation, actually?
That's a good question. So I always vote for initial growth. I know this is a very popular concept nowadays to just fundraise constantly. Sure, so be it. There are businesses and there are solutions that you cannot build otherwise. However, in my case, I like to build naturally when I see sales growing constantly. So this is my way about it. And even though I never took any investments for Itealist, all our customers are completely natural growth without any injections from outside. And I love it this way. Yeah. However, I'm not saying that I'm never going to do that. Yes, probably. Plus, like as much as I grow naturally, I get more and more possibilities to invest into marketing and to grow.
Right.
However, in like software development, I'm more into like natural growth. And in general, I vote for growing in a way that your customers are happy to take on board rather than blowing it out of proportion by just investing more and more.
Sure. And could you share one wish that you would more founders or investors understood about building durable AI companies?
I think we touched a little bit on this already, but not building for the sake of building for what matters for businesses, actually solving the problem, not just running around with the idea that came to you, but testing it, right, with like real users. Be very open to the feedback, actually listen to what your customers have to say, adapting it if it's needed, not being married to your idea in general. I think that's the best advice ever, because the best startups, they evolved so much from the moment they were founded till they're successful 10 years in the business. So when the founder is capable of being flexible and actually understands the feedback, understands the market, that's probably half of success.
This is so humble from you. I totally agree. You need to be very open-minded and also criticism aware of the comments that people tell you about what you're building, and also to be very reactive regarding those comments. It's definitely the key if you also want to be thriving in your business or whatever you undertake. Thank you, Darya, for such wise words from you.
Thank you so much.
So Darya, thank you so much for the conversation. It was refreshing to hear such a grounded take on building immersive technology without losing sight of the user. There's a lot of noise around AI, VR and emerging tech right now, but today's discussion really highlighted the importance of thoughtful design and intentional choices behind the scenes. So really thank you again for your time and openness.
Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Do you have any last words or any piece of advice that you want to share to the audience?
Probably my last words will be, we all learn by doing things rather than thinking about them. So if you're considering building something, just go and do it. And you will learn at the journey as you go.
Beautiful. It was Darya Motornova, CEO of Itealist. Please have a look at her website and her services. They do wonderful things in the UK and worldwide. And thank you to everyone who joined us. This has been another episode of the HEBED AI Podcast.
Thank you so much.